Welcome to the presentation on arch taping. Arch taping can be done for several different reasons. It can be done for fallen arches, like you see in this picture, but it can also be done for plantar fasciitis, to help with shin splints, or other foot issues. Now, as you can see from this picture, this person has quite drastic fallen arches. It doesn't have to look this bad. Anybody who feels like they need some support on the bottom of the foot, this is a good tape job to start with. So again, like with ankle taping, we're going to want to start in that 90 degrees of flexion position of most function for the ankle. And with this tape job, it's going to be easier to have your patient lying on their stomach on a table or a bed with the foot hanging off the edge. As long as right about mid-lower leg is where the table ends, you'll have full access to this whole area of the foot. We're going to start with anchors, and unlike with ankle taping job, we don't have pro wrap when it comes to the foot because we're trying to get this to stay on the bottom of the foot as easily as possible. The first anchor is just like we did with the ankle tape job, but it's going to be closer to the toes. And that's so that we have a longer area in here to provide tape. So you're going to be just below the ball of the foot. It just goes around and sticks to the foot. The second anchor is horizontal, and it starts at one side, goes around behind the heel, and back out. You do want this to sit just below the ankle bone on each side. Now the teardrops are the functional strips of this tape job. And what you're going to do is start on one side. You want to rip the tape in half, so half the width of the tape. You're going to come around behind the heel and then back across the foot. You do the same on the other side, around behind the heel and back across the foot. If you went across the foot first and came down the side, that would be fine as well. You're generally going to put 2 strips each direction to start with. You can change that as you go on depending on each person's tolerance. The next piece is the fill. So we want to make sure that all of those pieces we put on the bottom of the foot are protected. You're going to overlap by half, and all you're doing is going from that side anchor to the side anchor on the other side. This tape does not go all the way around the foot. You're just overlapping by half, but we leave the heel open so there's some traction there. Close is done here with the original picture just so you can see. We're just reapplying those 2 anchors that we had at the beginning. Now I'm going to walk you through a video of doing this tape job. I've done it with the person sitting up so that it's easier to see, but you could certainly have them in this position or face down. So we have them in 90 degrees of flexion. The foot anchor first, and again that's closer up to the toes. Then we have the horizontal anchor that runs just below the ankle bones on each side. Now we have the split roll, and it's easiest to just put your finger in the middle of the roll of tape and pull one side, and you'll manage to get that to split. So one side, cross the foot, back up the side and rip, and then move to the other side. It is important to do one side and then the other so that you create almost a weave pattern in the bottom. Okay, now we're going to move on to the fill. So you'll see here that this just goes, first we have the anchor that goes around the top. And we just have pieces that just cover the bottom. So these pieces are not going all the way around the foot. Then you'll have that anchor making sure that none of those come off. Okay. With this, you're going to want to make sure that they're very careful about putting their socks on afterwards, just so that you are not wrecking anything you just did. So if the tape job is getting too tight, this person is going to feel like they're getting a cramp in the bottom of their foot. You could have two causes of that. Either the anchor you put on around their foot is too tight, or you have too many of the teardrop strips. So you're going to play with that a little bit. General rule is you put more strips on for more support and less strips for less. The other thing you want to do is make sure that the tape is removed when the activity is done. Generally, people will need to stretch their feet out or ice their feet, so you don't want to keep the tape on after activity is complete. And you never want to sleep with tape on. That allows the body a time to rest and recover. So next class is Achilles tendon taping, and that's followed by knee wrapping and taping. And for more information on healthy living or to see my other courses, check out thehealingpath.com.